feel like you guys are ready for conference play? Are there things you'd like to kind of clean up in these last 3 games before that? Or?
Not ready yet, because we'll take as many as we can get before we get into conference. Because obviously, starting on the road's one thing. Starting at the Oregons, that's a tough road trip. So we've talked to the guys yesterday. We got 120 minutes left, and we've got a little break coming right after that. So it's about figuring out these 120 minutes before we take a break and then come back to what we like calling season 2. But yeah, there's things that defensively, offensively, we need these 120 minutes to just continue to gain not just momentum, but ideas and concepts. For instance, at Santa Barbara, we're going to get probably a heavy dose of zone, and we haven't had a lot of zone thrown at us. So that will help prepare us for league play. Ohio State gives you another Big Ten athletic, aggressive team that defends you and puts a lot of pressure on your defense with the way they come at you, and then Western Michigan to finish. So those are 120 minutes that are pretty crucial to us with no classes of really diving into basketball here over the next 10 days before we get a break.
Defensively, what do you want to see happen between now and the end?
Well, our transition defense has got to continue to evolve and get better. We're obviously playing at a quick pace, but we've got to be able to get the ball stopped and under control. And then at the half court, I'd just like to be able to put more pressure on the ball. I think the concepts and what the guys are trying to do, we're seeing good things. But I think what we could take us another step forward in what we're trying to do defensively is get a little bit more pressure on the basketball so this doesn't move so easily. We're starting to get in better position. We're starting to defend the pick and roll very well. But the ball pressure, we've had slippage in, so we've really concentrated on that.
Santa Barbara, what have you seen from them? You mentioned zone. Did they do 3-2, 2-3?
Yeah, a lot of, at least if, again, they can always come in here and do something different, but we've seen a lot of 3-2 zone on tape and very big up front, which we haven't played a lot of teams that throw the ball inside as much as Santa Barbara does. So, again, that's going to be something that you always look for before you get into conference play of defending the post and defending the basket. Those are things that we've played a lot of dribble drive teams and pick and roll teams and a Michigan team that plays 5 out that wants to shoot a lot of threes. Now here comes a team that's almost the flip of that. They want to attack you at the basket. They want to post you a lot. And then they got a highly an explosive guard in Vincent on the perimeter that can really get away from you. So those are the things that we expect we're going to see. Might see something different, but if it is different, then I think it's something we've probably seen.
It does seem like your team has done a good job of adapting to different styles and paces so far. What has allowed your team to do that so far?
We've said all along that I think we've got a high basketball IQ set of guys, and they can all pass, shoot, dribble it, but on top of all that, they've got high IQs. So when we have to make adjustments as coaches or they have to do it as on the fly as players, they've been able to do those things. Texas A&M's a perfect example of that in the championship game down in the Anaheim Classic. That we haven't seen, they haven't zoned a whole lot, and all of a sudden they not only threw a zone at us, they put a lineup up there of no point guard. They played several minutes without a point guard and made us adapt defensively, but also made us adapt to how we were going to go against a zone that was huge without a point guard. And it wasn't anything we'd practiced. We'd never seen that on tape. So this was just the guys doing this and evolving in a game that was very, very important. And I think they've just had the knack and ability to do that because they understand how to play.
Any update on Tom heading into the
Yeah, we got to wait. Today's a big day to find out about what's going to happen tomorrow. He's progressing very well, so we're very fortunate that way. I'd say he's questionable, for the next 2 games. I think he's a little bit more viable probably for the weekend than he is tomorrow. But if today goes real well, then there's still a possibility he could play tomorrow. But we're hopeful at least we'll get him back for the weekend.
Michigan players really commended you guys for making tough shots. Have you seen your team make a leap in that department?
Well, I watched the same game tape, and I think we're taking good shots. Last year we had to take some tough shots because we didn't have the personnel, and we were forced to take some tough shots. In my mind, we're being pretty efficient. Now, is tough shots of 3 from 25 feet? Yeah, maybe, but we got some guys that can make the 25-foot three-point shot, so we extend your defense out. Michigan's different in that they play 5 guards, so you don't have basically 5 guards, even though they're listed as forwards. You're not guarding the post. So when you play us, we're going to make you guard the post and the perimeter. I did not see, and with being without Tom, I thought maybe 2 tough shots in that game. The rest of them were shots that we've been taking all year. So I didn't see as many tough shots as what I had heard that they had said. I thought we took pretty good shots.
Your guard rotation's pretty good right now. Is there any thought to maybe Redshirt Prince just because it's so good the way it's going now?
Yeah, he's coming along really well right now. And I feel for him because he was playing so well in the spring, so well in the summer, and so this injury obviously was a setback for him and a lot longer than what he and I had hoped to be, but that's what happens sometimes with injuries. So I think as we get through this week, we just got out of finals. Probably this time next week, we need to probably sit and have a discussion just on his future. I always want to do what's best for the player. So it's really what's going to be best for Prince, and just see what he's thinking, and at least get some thoughts that now, as we break for Christmas, he can talk to family, he can talk to maybe high school coach, and just see what's going to be best for him moving forward. Because it's hard when you've been out this long. That's hard, but he is progressing well. He's not having any pain. He did non-contact yesterday. He's dunking the ball again. So it's just a matter of getting back to court shape, and you're trying to do that as we get close to January, so it's hard.
You've called Aaron your 6th starter in the past. How have you seen him embrace that role?
Perfectly. He's given us something we definitely didn't have last year. We've got a bench that is highly energized. It's a bench that's athletic. It's a bench that can rim protect an EK. When Gigi comes off the bench, you've got a scoring high IQ forward. You've got Aaron who can beat you with the jump shot. He can beat you off the dribble. He brings so much to it, and so I've been very appreciative of that. And he symbolizes what this team's been about. He's been selfless because here's a guy that started every game last year, and now he's coming off the bench. It's a new role, but much more efficient. He's much more efficient right now through 10 games than he was through the last 10 games of his freshman year, and that's a credit to him. He's just doing things at a high level right now, and he's doing it in a very unselfish manner, so it's greatly appreciated.
Is there anything that surprises you about this team that you didn't know coming in that you learned during the course of this season?
Maybe a little bit of what was just talked about, of teams throw different things at you and you haven't practiced it because it's early in the season, you don't have a lot of game film. You're going to have a lot of game film going into league play, but things in game that teams do that we haven't practiced or seen, and yet these guys have been able to handle it and make the plays to get the job done. And those are the things that not a lot of experience other than, Aaron being a sophomore and playing a lot last year, and then Bryce and Isaac and Tom. Other than that, Gigi hurt a lot last year, and then 3 freshmen going through it for the first time. Your first road trip's Kentucky. That's not an easy road trip, and yet they've just evolved as a team of really being able to, on the fly and kind of on the run, make adjustments in game that I'm a little surprised we can do that this early in the season.
Where do you think that mental toughness came from?
Well, they're all winners. I've coached Thomas, Gigi, Isaac, Bryce, Aaron. These are 5 guys that are incredible winners. And then the 3 that you brought in have done nothing but win. So if you just look at those 8 guys, because we're hurt a little bit, Alex hadn't played, Prince hadn't been playing, more guys that are tough and are winners. But those 8 guys in the rotation, they know how to win. So when all the elements are put together to where you've got 8 guys that are selfless and they don't care who gets the shot or who makes the shot, they trust one another. That, in my opinion, is where it's coming from. And we got to continue to build that at the defensive end. We're a lot further ahead offensively than we are defensively with that trust.